My workshop is in an absolute state, and it's full of stuff that I don't necessarily need. Now, the point of this video, I'm not entirely sure if you're going to enjoy this. I'm not sure I'm going... Am I going to enjoy this? I'm going to enjoy the result. Burn it. Haha, yay! I'm fairly happy with the basic layout. Obviously, the tools in the back there, it works. I've got the light from the windows for the filming. And this is a big issue. I have to have my bench back from the wall so that I can have a camera where we are now and talk to you guys. The same thing goes with pretty much every tool. My Mitre lathe, which I don't use very often, is out in the middle of the room so that I can get a camera where that is, and you can have a frontal shot, see what I'm doing and what I'm talking about when I'm doing it. And the same goes with that little bench that is part of the problem, because a flat surface, when not used often, becomes a dumping ground. Dumping ground, dumping ground, the dumping ground. Well, let's look at that. That's supposed to be a bandsaw. This is a storage shelf that I thought, okay, flat space, I'll store old tools that are about to be restored on there, and it's now got wood and notebooks and a package I haven't opened. Dumping ground. That's semi-organized. That is not. Same thing here. Underneath there, just full of stuff. That was a little chest of drawers that I was going to restore. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that now. The milling machine is hardly ever used. It's got stuff on it. And while I love this little, lead hammer, it's a beautiful thing, I'm not sure if I'm ever going to use it. And this is the problem. So this workbench here, that came into vintagetoolshop.com, and I don't have much space left there. And I thought, you know what? I'll take that home. And now I don't have the room. That's a set to figure out if something is gold or silver or what. There's tools everywhere. It's a problem. Now, there we go. Under there is a new Triton Mitre saw, sliding compound Mitre saw of awesomeness, and it's still in the box. I've had this for 2-3 months, and I need to get it out, but I don't have anywhere to put it. And then a pile of wood in the corner, and a router table / it's the Triton multi-machine thingy. Can you tell that I'm slightly overwhelmed? I need access to that machine. I need the saw out. I need to change and grow. Let's do it together, shall we? Move lathe onto small workbench. List making, quite important. Wood, other shed, for now. Question mark, ask wife. So this is the problem area here. I need to empty that workbench, move the lathe, get all of these boxes gone and sorted. So, well, I'm going to put my ISOtunes in and lose myself entirely. Stonemason's mallet-headed chisels. I need to put these in the door. The workshop doors have got screws. Check this out. How's this for security, eh? Let's just walk up and unscrew the doors from the front of the workshop and go in and take everything. I do have an alarm system and live here, but still. So these will be installed internally. sort of thing. Let's just store this up here. Just for now. I think all of these are going to end up in a drawer or something. I have no idea where this even came from, let alone how it got to my workshop. And I've only had this workshop for a short time. Oh. Tube. Lots of tube. Yeah. Brass, aluminium. Cool. So here's my problem. Wood. And you know, I like wood. I love wood. I mean, look at that. But I don't really have storage space for it. I've been threatening to put another shed behind me over there and turn that into a full wood storage place with dehumidifiers going and essentially turn it into a mini kiln, I suppose. I just haven't had time. Essentially, I need to move this lathe. I do want to keep it. I love the lathe. It's a fantastic thing. I don't get to use it very often, but it is worth keeping. The problem is these legs mean that storage underneath it is an absolute nightmare. I'm going to remove the legs. I'm going to move the lathe over into this corner, put it on a table, and that table will be better, more efficient storage for timber and bits and pieces, and we'll figure it out from there. It's a bit nice. Oh, wow. Crikey. This is a really awesome shelf or pelmet, I suppose. Flamed something. Walnut? It seems a pity to destroy it, but I'm going to make something out of it. One day. Stunning, isn't it? Oh. SRP prototype to be made into a sort of a acoustic key. Hold on. Yes, SRP to put a top on, much like the Fender thingies, the name of which I've completely forgotten, even though I have turned my music off. It should be stable enough. Fingers crossed. So, let's take this beastie apart. Okay, this might go horribly wrong. I probably should have put it on the table first, but well, let's see. There's one bolt left on there, one bolt on this side, and I'm gonna drag it a little. I don't know. At the very least, legs are going to fall off now. Okay, drop. Aha! I think I'm going to call that a success. This is a bit fun. Through vintagetoolshop.com, I clear a lot of workshops. And this stuff was, unfortunately, the sculptor has passed on, but we have the remnants here. And I think these would do very, very nicely in a guitar. What do you think? So cool. Oh yeah. Anyway.
For those of you who might not be familiar, Hodinkee is an online platform that celebrates all things handmade. We talk a lot about watches, but we also talk about cars and architecture and design.
So, although this is a watch podcast, it's not really a podcast about watches. It's a podcast about people. You know, I've been doing this for a number of years, and the best part is that we meet some of the most interesting people in the world.
I know what I'm doing, honest. I really do.
I actually think like a watch is actually a very modern object. It's amazing that this thing can run basically forever if you're running.
People who make you happy every day are the people you collect. And that's how you should be thinking
Yeah,
about
that
all the
works.
objects. Can they make you happy? Do they bring joy to your face every time you see
And timber.
You have
Woohoo!
2 watches on your wrist. Right?
If you're watching this today, the day that this goes live, then there is still an ISOtunes promotion going live. If you buy any Bluetooth set of ISOtunes up to and including the ISOtunes free wares that I've just been playing with the other day, you get a free set of the Pro 1s, EN 352s, etc. If you use the code CrimsonPRO, use the code CrimsonPRO or click the link in the description below. That being said, if you're watching this after the fact, use the code Crimson10 to get 10 quid or $10 off. The coupon I've just said, ISOtunes Pro, is also only for uk.co.uk and .de websites. But I'm actually supposed to be talking about this. So here we are. What we've got is this beautiful Triton RT001 WX7. Okay, but it's on wheels, it's movable, and behind it I can put a rack with some timber. And when I need to have access to it, I will just pull this away in front of the lathe. Life is going to be good. So that was a space I did not expect to have. It'll work, and I can still walk there. Sometimes, seriously, it is just a case of start the process and then the right path through will make itself known. I'm going to call it an evening and potentially just change everything over again in the morning. We'll see. That does work there because I don't need the lathe very often at all, so I could actually push that fairly close up against the wall, except for the fact that I think the wall is where this bench is going to go, on which I will have the sliding compound mitre saw from Triton, and that then gives me a fairly chunky space for some pretty long bits of wood. Not that I do huge amounts of that, but it is very useful for a lot of other things than just guitar buildings. So yeah, I'll pull that out and find somewhere for that and this and all of that. I don't know. Have I gained anything? I don't think so. Good morning. Let's change everything around again. Lathe. Milling machine. I don't need a milling machine, but when I need a milling machine, oh, I need a milling machine. Now, that beastie also gets in the way of filming because it's quite tall. So what I'm going to do actually is put the milling machine where the lathe is, which is narrower, which means I will be able to have more space to get to this beastie, which is the tool I use the most. Okay, onwards. That wood will all not be there if I ever use the milling machine actually in anger. Yeah, especially with coolant. This will be clean. I don't need this. That could work. So I'm going to need to add a cover over the Mitre, I suppose, or potentially a Perspex screen in between the two, because I don't want the horrific amount of dust that the wood lathe puts up to end up on the Mitre. I know she's already dusty. That's actually got worse just due to today. Well, the end result is actually that the workshop is already looking worse. It's looking worse. This is coming together quite well. I've still got to find a place for that beautiful workbench, and that will be probably in that corner there, which means I need to find other bits and pieces. This drawer unit came from there. These drawer units are gonna end up, I don't know. Anyhow, unboxing. It's time to have a look at this fantastic Triton compound mitre sliding thing. Sliding compound mitre saw. I can never get them right. So I had the prototype for this machine in the workshop for a number of weeks to test it out and see if I thought that they should put it into production. And I said yes. Of course I said yes. Triton makes strong plastic bags. Triton are one of the few companies I've worked with who actually ask you, what do you think? And then listen. Pretty cool, isn't it? Wing it. Read the instructions, wing it. Wing it. All right, so I need to screw it down. Do I want one support there? Look at this. Very, very close to the wall. and it's fully functional. Is that just not incredible? I am gonna have to screw it down so I don't punch a hole through that window, but yeah, I mean, if you don't have much space, this is the one for you. There can be only one. Always read the instructions. Or at the very least, look at the pretty pictures. Well, I looked at the pictures. It's always too much plastic. Just is what it is. This looks like a little spaceship. Isn't that cool? Stops. Either side. Adjustment. Good locating stuff. Quite frankly, this is a sexy machine. It is indeed. I'm too sexy for my workshop. I just put that song in your heads and I apologize. Not sorry. Not sorry at all. This Leatherman is not quite so easy to open as my older one. But I love it. There you go. So I did a full video with the prototype that was here, that's on the Triton Tools channel. Go and check that out. But you're going to see a lot of this over the years. So until then, well, yeah, I'll get on with fixing the workshop. This bench it's a nice bench. It's okay, but it's not ideal. So what we've got is these doors and crappy shelves that just end up being unable to store anything, really. And I want to take that whole shelf unit out, basically, which I think is possible. And I would also like to make it a little bit taller and put in some drawers. I've got a few little old machinist's drawer sets floating around, so we're going to do that. And through that process, we'll tidy everything up and then be able to clear a space for this bench. It's literally clear a space, make something tidy, and then fill the top of it with stuff while you're still finding somewhere for it to go. And that is why I've got this with all the drawers for stuff. My stuff. Trisha! One of you fantastic people sent me this amazing chocolate bar, and it's coffee and milk chocolate, and it's an incredibly cool wrapping that I can't open. Wow, I'm better than I thought I was. Look at that. But there's actually chocolate left inside. Look at that. I thought I'd saved it just because the box was so cool. Wow, I should tidy up more often. This is the nicest chocolate I've ever tasted in my entire life. Oh, yes. Bunch of electronic stuff. that needs to be in drawers. Ooh, inlays. Oh, they're a pump. That's where they ended up. Another drawer somewhere around. Now to adjust the height. I just want a couple of inches. Pretty label. We've reached it. The point at which it all looks so much worse than it did before, but also the point at which we're about to start. Well, the end of times is here. Look, a wall. Boxwood. Haha. Oh yes. We're nearly there. And I love boxwood. Well, I must say that I am now knackered, but it's coming together. Still an absolute mess, but somehow I got an extra bench in, an extra machine in, and have ended up with more floor space. This is quite amazing, and for that matter, a better line of sight as well, so we don't have a milling machine there. There's drawer units there. I've got the vintage tool collection mostly in here and in bits and pieces. These drawers are going to be full of various things as well. I've got a hell of a lot of drawers, and I have been known to say the drawers are a place where tools go to die, but a well-organized drawer is also necessary. For example, I have a drawer just for gold leaf, or leaf, gold, silver, copper leaf. I have a drawer just for acrylic paints, and I've got a drawer just for brushes and pencils and all of these things that we need and love and use regularly. And if I didn't know where they were, that's a hell of a lot of time wasted. I need to locate this. That's where my pliers go. That's going to be up on there somewhere. And I need to do a lot of tidying up, and there's a couple of boxes left over with tools, and I want to stick that in a wall. But I think what I'm going to do now, fine people, is cut this very, very long video short. The grinder needs a home too. That's always been an issue. I'm going to cut this video short and leave you wanting more. What I'm going to offer as apology, or part two. Let's end this on a cliffhanger. I'm going to do a proper workshop tour. Warts and all, I'm going to let you rummage through my drawers. I will do a tour. I'm going to get my sister along to film, and we will, once I've finished tidying this, because there's a good couple more days work in here, I will do a tour, and we will literally go through every single drawer, every single storage place. We will look at every single tool that I have, vintage, collection, and otherwise. And it sounds a little bit voyeuristic, but fun. So watch out for that. I am going to get back to filming Nebula as well. So next Saturday is going to be a guitar video, and this workshop tour is probably going to be a midweek video at some point in the not too distant future, i.e. in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Thank you for watching. Please click like and subscribe. Do not forget the ISOtunes promotion that's currently going on. If you're watching this video today, wow, this camera's heavy. I'm just going to change hands. Jazz hands. Thank you for sticking around. And yeah, see you next week. Goodbye.